Oh yeah, now
We are now live and recording. Hey, everybody. Hey, Star family. Great to see you all here. Um, Not that a big turnout, but I think a lot of you guys can watch the recap, and I think a lot of you guys already maybe are watching the market instead of watching us. I do understand, but don't worry about the market. Worry or think about what's coming for the next couple of months. And this is what we will discussing today. This is what we will discussing during this crowdcast. We will discuss about what's coming to Astar, what are we working on now, what are the latest updates. So let me share you my screen and start presenting. Share. Oh, not this slideshow. Okay, so welcome everybody to the community crowdcast on November the 9th. Great to have everybody here. So today we have on this call Soto Watanabe, founder of Astar. We have Hoon Kim, he is the CTO of Astar, and then me, I will be the moderator and head of ecosystem development. And we will be talking about the recent updates, a recap of our latest achievements, a little bit of information about XVM SDK, a lot of letters attached to each other, but what is the meaning behind this? What are we building with XVM? What does this mean? What will the future bring with XVM? This will be explained by Hoon. Then we have the Swanky version 1 coming out as well in a couple of weeks. So this is also something that Hoon will be talking about. The Swanky tool, the all-in-one tool for WASM developers. And I will be taking over the dApp staking part. Where are we now? We had like a recent update with the dApp staking portal. What's coming in the next couple of weeks? What are our expectations with dApp staking for the next couple of months? And to end things off, we will also have like a Q&A. So in this crowdcast window that you everybody is looking at now, at the bottom you see like ask a question. So that's the place where you should ask a question. The troll box on the right is just to share your moon thoughts and All-Star Degen stuff. Go ahead, go freak out there. But if you have like a real question, use the ask a question box. So at the end of this presentation, we will go over all the community questions and we will do our best to answer each and every one. Thank you. Um, so the recent updates, I will leave this up to Sota. So Sota, if you need to go to the next slide, let me know. Thank you.
Yep. Hello everyone. This is Sota Watanabe, founder of Astar Network, and today I'm going to show you recent updates. So, as you may know, this is the biggest announcement we made 2 days ago. So now we have a partnership with NTT Docomo. I would like to explain why it is super important for us. And we agreed to make use cases, Web3 use cases together on the top of Astar, especially environment problem in some of the problem in Japan. And the NTT Docomo is the largest mobile operator in Japan. And 37% of the Japanese people are using NTT Docomo every day. So 37% of the whole population, which is big, really big. And also they have 40 billion on the annual revenue. And the parent company, NTT, is the fourth largest company in Japan. And 1/3 of their stock is owned by the Japanese government. And 2 days ago, NTT Docomo disclosed that they're gonna invest $4 billion into Web3 in upcoming 5 years. And we are working really close with NTT Docomo and help them to make a best decision how to use 4 billion. And and NTT Docomo makes Web3 use cases together with Astar Foundation and Accenture. So this is big. In 2023, I will do my best to bring a lot of the Japanese big company into Astar. And I have been already started talking with the company, and also Candy Guard. Japan has great IPs like manga or anime and so on. So I would like to bring a lot of the IP stuff to Astar and Polkadot. So Candy Guard will be minted on Astar. And Yoshitaka Amano tweeted about this. And also after the Candy Guard, more Japanese IP will be planned to be deployed in quarter one and quarter two, highly likely quarter two. Yeah, next please. And third one is Astar hosted a Polkadot conference in San Francisco, and the roughly 200 people joined at the conference. And I realized that people started talking about Astar a lot in the US. So I think Astar is pretty popular in Asia, and we need to make it popular in the US. I'm in the US right now to talk with potential investor, project, and so on. Yeah, making strong presence in the US is very important for us. And I joined Nikkei Global Management Conference, as known as Japanese Davos meeting after Sony CEO's talk. And yesterday, my friends shared that Nikkei is the most famous newspaper in Japan. And yesterday, my friend told me that I was listed at the page one together with CEO of the Sony on Nikkei Shimbun, Nikkei newspaper. Unfortunately, I cannot see because I'm in the US right now. I think Web3 is well recognized in Japan, and the Japanese government made Web3 as a national strategy. So I will do my best to push Web3 in Japan and bring a lot of the great IPs and big companies. Yeah, I think in 2023, Astar will become the go-to market chain for all Japanese enterprises and also developers. So this is our focus in quarter four and the first half of quarter 2023. So in quarter four, we plan to make innovative use cases in a Polkadot ecosystem. So the problem right now is I think smart contract parachains are leading the ecosystem, either Astar or Moonbeam. But the problem is 100 of literally 100% of dApps on Moonbeam and Astar are EVM copy and paste project. So we have to make something very unique, which only Polkadot can realize. So we're gonna focus on XCMP, the cross-chain messaging passing, and also Ink and WebAssembly smart contract. Ink is a smart contract language made by Parity for WebAssembly smart contract. So we're gonna make ecosystem tunings, and I'm talking with Parity to make Ink Bounty program. I think Ink Bounty program is going to be big, and we're gonna support project who are using Ink. And we aim to be the number one leading chain in a Polkadot ecosystem by the end of this year. And next year, I'm going to focus on Japan, and we would like to make the leading Japanese chain supported by big Fortune 500 Japanese companies and talented developer. So I will do my best to conquer Japanese market in 2023. And narrative needed to be changed. Right now, people are comparing Astar with Moonbeam, Akara, Parallel, and the others. But during 2023, Astar needed to be compared with Solana or Nia or Branchy. So we would like to be recognized as the alternative emerging L1 chain. So, yep. And we're gonna make EVM use case. We're gonna bring Ethereum ecosystem to Astar, and we're gonna make something unique which only Polkadot can realize on Astar. By doing so, we would like to be recognized as emerging layer 1 blockchain in 2023. And we're gonna leverage Japanese market. Yeah, next please. So from here, Fumi is going to talk about technical updates.
Hey, swankers, how's it going, everyone? Although probably I shouldn't use the word swanker. It's a little bit horrible way to say our community members, unless you like it. So yeah, I think Sota did explained what we've been doing so far. It's really amazing to see all the development going on, and he also explained about the Ink initiative for gathering all the ecosystem projects who are using Inc. or WASM contracts in the Polkadot ecosystem to really push that narrative there. And now I'll be introducing you to our latest updates that are purely about WebAssembly stuff. So I'm really excited to show you. The first off is XVM SDK, which is short for Cross Virtual Machine Software Development Kit, and I think XVM is something that some of you might have heard me talking about for a couple of times. So the idea here is that we want to create a protocol within Polkadot or within Astar that allows interoperability between WASM and EVM. So what this does is it allows any WebAssembly smart contracts deployed on Astar to communicate with contracts that are deployed on EVM. Traditionally, this was really difficult because of different account scheme, different address base, and well, generally just the how foreign everything is. But thanks to our brilliant engineers, we were able to develop the XVM core. It's going to be available on Shibuya very soon for you to test out. And now the SDK is we do have the core side that accepts the encoded parameters that will be used to call a contract on either of the environment. But right now, it's quite hard to expect developers to know all the encoding schemes and just use them on the fly. So what we're trying to do here is develop a bunch of SDKs or a bunch of contracts, UI libraries, documentation to educate the developers and let everyone easily use XVM as part of their core logic. And what's so interesting here is XVM is so easy to use with the XDK. Next slide, please. That I'm going to be showing off a demo on Sub-Zero. It's I'm actually working on the demo application as we're speaking, so like trying to code and talk is a little bit hard, but I'll show you the power of what XVM is, how, what's possible in the future, what how developers will change their mindset in the future, and when they're creating interoperable smart contracts, not just within Astar, not just within different environments, but across different networks, and the potential of having a unified control or access of any assets in any chain from a single account. Now, the presentation is going to be on November 28th, Builder Space B, from 3 p.m. 3:45 p.m. So please see me there if you are going to be at Sub-Zero. Next. Now we have some great news for Swanky. We had the Swanky V1 release. Next slide. I think Swanky has some crazy news that might be interesting for everyone. So this is the first major release of our Swanky suite, which includes the CLI tool and the Node tool. And this release includes the account management system, unit tests, network management, so you can actually choose networks and deploy on live networks like Sheeran. We're also planning on adding integration test as a sort of an extended scope, Ask support. So this means that now developers can scaffold not only Inc, which is written in Rust, but also Ask, which is based in assembly script. So this really expands the language capabilities of WASM contracts in Astar Network, and we're so excited to see how many people will be able to jump in and really create some crazy stuff. And most importantly, we are working with the Fala team to support fat contracts as part of the Swanky suite. It's still under development, and we're really working close to Fala team, so really excited. And as you know, previously we had a Twitter space, from the Swanky account, and we have our own Swanky Twitter account. So please do follow. The idea here is to really push Swanky as its own tools for the ecosystem, not just exclusively for Astar. And this will go well with the initiative Sota mentioned about bringing Inc together. Uh, yep. Next slide. So Martin, you there? I am. So Martin and Sasha, our core dev who's working at the Swanky Cly, they'll be introducing Swanky, the latest Swanky suite on Sub-Zero. This presentation is more targeted towards beginners. So even if you haven't really developed touched Substrate or haven't developed any smart contracts before, this is a way to show you how easy it is to create your own DApp, own Web3 projects with the Swanky Suite. And their presentation is going to be at the Starter Space A at the same time as me, sadly. So sorry, Martin. I think I'm gonna have to take away a lot of your audience. Yeah, that's it from me. Thank you.
That's no problem. We can say like at the same time, hello, Sprankers. I think we will get a lot of attention there. When I have you here now, Hoon, I will already start giving you a question from the community. And
All
John
right.
is asking, will we be able to incorporate the Move language like Aptos and Sai into the Star SDK or in the Swanky SDK?
All right. So Move language itself is also, I believe, it's like very similar to Rust. So if you're talking about just syntactically speaking, well, yeah, developer perspective, it should be easy to make. But if we're talking about actually a full support, it means that someone has to create a or substrate contract interpreter for Move language. Now, is that easy to do? I wouldn't say it's too hard. From my understanding, I don't think like Aptos has anything too crazy like asynchronous functions or something. So it should be it should be possible, hypothetically speaking, in the near future when there is someone who's actually going to make that compiler happen. Right now, no, as it is, it's not possible. And Swanky is just a tool to gather various languages and support developers to support much more languages. So if there is a team who are interested in making a Move compiler for Substrate, then we are more than happy to support them and put them as part of the Swanky suite.
Yes, that's correct. As you may know, Swanky is open source, so we are trying to get the developers out there as well committed into um, joining the Swanky development and become like a real Swanky dev and a real Swanker, and keep on developing together with us. We are currently starting this movement, the Swanky, but it's not built by Astar. It will be built by community who will be using this, by the developers who will be using this to build with wasn't smart contracts. So everybody who is welcome to join GitHub, join the repo, and start developing together with us. It will be, I think our engineers will be very happy to see you guys coming. We already have like great support from some builders out there, so the more the better, I would say. Thank you. Thanks for your talk, Hoon. Thank you. I do have other questions for you later on, but
Okay,
let's keep that in the Q&A session
sure,
later on.
sure.
It's about Sheet Networks.
Ah, okay, that's important. Yeah.
Okay, then we go to the final chapter of this crowdcast, and it's about dApp staking. As you all may know, all the stakers out there in this community crowdcast here now, we have been updating our dApp staking portal. Um, you can say it's not that big of a change, but it really is, because it makes it much more easier for new people coming into our ecosystem to navigate between the dApps who are available to stake on. It's still a big part of our how do I say it, from the biz dev side and from the marketing side as well, to educate our community what is dApp staking, why is dApp staking so important, and we want to educate the community together with a great friendly UI. And at the moment we change it to a much more friendly UI. It will give you much more information. The developers now who join dApp staking can now add it to their cart and can add more pictures, latest updates, um, and do much more than they could before. And we also added some tags for when there is like a huge pile of dApps available that you can select on tags as well if you're interested in an NFT project or DeFi project and so on. So as you go to our portal.astar.network and you go to dApp staking, you will see the new UI. It's available on Astar, it's available on Shiden, it's available on Shibuya. Um, we are now in version 2. Soon at the end of the month, we will release also version 2.1. What we will provide with this new version at the end of the month is give much more data to our stakers that are interested in joining dApp staking. Now, if you go to, let's say, for instance, if you look at this slide to, let's say, the Astar Rich NFT project, there is no data available. So you need to look on DeFi Llama, you need to look on dApp Radar, how many users are trading this NFT, what's the volume of this NFT, where is it traded on, and so on and so on. So with the next version, we want to provide as much data as possible for you. When you click on the card, you will see the price, you will see the trading volume, you will see much more information than you currently can. And this will make it much more easier for the stakers to stake on a project that they want to support. It's not that you stake on the first project you see, you leave it, and that's it. A lot of the current stakers do it like this, but our main goal is to educate the people and say, like, I want to stake my Astar tokens on an application that I want to support because my staked amount will give those developers an incentivize. They will give my staked amount will give a reward to those developers. Why would you stake on a project that you don't know or that you don't support? You are giving money to developers from a dApp you don't use. So it's best for everybody who's using dApp staking to look for, what am I using? Am I using the multi-sig? Okay, I really support Astar Safe. I stake on those developers. For instance, on Astar Safe, the developers behind this on this multi-sig, they created a fork of the Gnosis Safe. So they are using the funds that they get from dApp staking. They will use it for their infra cost. They will use it to pay their employees who are doing like daily upgrades on the Astar Safe when they're implementing new features. All those costs, they will use that with the dApp staking rewards. So, and this is how it should go as well. And that's why it's so important for users who are using dApp staking that you can support the dApp that you want to support and you really see bringing value to the ecosystem. We also have a feature in our dApp staking, and I also want to highlight this. This is the nomination transfer. So everybody is staking on a dApp can easily transfer his staked amount to another dApp that they want to support. So if you're now listening to me and you say, okay, Martin is more than right, I want to stake something on a dApp that I really want to support, please use the nomination transfer from one dApp to another, and start supporting that developer team. And that's something that we really want to emphasize here. When there are more and more dApps available, it's very important that you will support the correct dApp. So a lot more is coming as well. Another update that's not in Q4, but it will most likely be in 2023. Not sure if it will be Q1 or Q2. That's where we will have like a new dApp staking tokenomics available. When it's like, now we have the dynamic inflation, and its dynamic deflation will give a minimum rewards to the developer and a minimum rewards to the staker. And this is dynamic based on the TVL staked on dApp staking. Currently, we are in the pre-research phase where we are looking for, together with tokenomics experts, on how we can really leverage this much better towards stakers as well to developers. So you may expect as well a new change with this. This will also not be decided by us, but will be decided together with everybody here in the community. We will open up the moment when our research is ready. We will open up a topic in our forum where we will discuss this with our community. We will do a poll together. We will decide this with the community, and then we will enable the new mechanism first on Shibuya, then on Shiden, and then on Astar. So a lot of things can be expected with dApp staking because this is still our unique feature and something that makes us special towards other layer one chains at the moment. So as you may see, it's still bear market. A lot of developers are not developing at the moment because they will not get any grants or they will not get any support. So dApp staking is a perfect mechanism that you can show in the bear market that you can do something, make a difference, and get daily income by building and by providing value to our ecosystem. So dApp staking is like a perfect mechanism for new developers to actually build in bear market because you get incentivized from day one if you start building and using dApp staking. So it can be another thing that you can think about if you are a builder to explore Astar and to explore our ecosystem and explore dApp staking as a whole. I think I said everything regarding dApp staking. This is from my end. So to end this off, we will have a Q&A session. But first, I would like to hear if there's anything else from Hoon or Sota before going to the Q&A that you would like to add to this crowdcast.
Yeah, thank you very much, Martin. I think quarter 4 is very important time for us to prepare for the next bull market. And I think 2023 is the most important year for us because we're gonna have a lot of the partnership with the big Japanese companies, and we're gonna have a web assembly, so we can make innovative use cases on the top of Astar beyond Polkadot. So during the hard time, I think community needed to be connected, and we would like to make community driven project. So your feedback is really appreciated, and thank you very much for being with us under under the hard time.
Yeah, I agree, and although I would say like every quarter is important,
Yeah.
equally. And next year, I'm really excited about next year because there's so many interesting things coming up. People A lot of people say it's like a bear market, hard situations. We're gonna make it and all that. But for me, I'm just so excited seeing, looking at the Polkadot ecosystem where we always have new projects coming up, new things, new technology that we can tinker with. So think of it this way: you can always now, thanks to this market condition, well, I don't want to talk about market condition too much, but just thanks to the external factors, it's easier to focus on development, and that's what Astar is planning on doing. We have so many things. I've been having so much fun trying to looking at these new projects coming up into the Polkadot ecosystem, but also other ecosystems and new technologies. XVM, very exciting stuff. So everyone, please stay tuned to our latest news because you will be surprised with what we are able to create.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot, Hoon. Hoon, I also have another question for you from the community,
Yeah.
and it's something that I saw as well in some other reports that I currently read about Astar as well as Polkadot in general. So, as you already know, it's not only related to the market, but Polkadot in its whole is also losing some momentum, and this also reflects on us as being a parachain. So, a question from the community is: Have have Star ever thought about becoming a blockchain in its own? Or is this technically not possible since we are a parachain and connected to Polkadot?
Right.
So,
So I
what's
guess
your opinion about this?
the question basically is, can has Astar considered being a standalone chain and break away from Polkadot? Now, marketing wise, breaking away from Polkadot, I think that's viable. Like, it doesn't make sense that a website advertise themselves as like we're built on AWS or something like that, or we're deployed from AWS. Like, it's not something that people would really say like, oh yeah, it's AWS and they're really great, so we know this website is great. Like, that's not how it works, right? So of course you can make a bad parachain if you're even on Polkadot. Uh, but when it comes to Astar Network specifically, and technically speaking, so technically converting a parachain into a standalone chain is possible. It's really just a matter of like which consensus algorithm are you using. We can use the traditional proof of stake that Polkadot is using, just by doing a runtime upgrade. Although I don't think it's going to be as easy as just runtime upgrade, because obviously we have to converting collators into a validator is a huge challenge, because the hardware requirement is different, but also the way how they're maintained is different, and the security implications will change. So that's one of the major things that we have to consider when converting from a parachain to a standalone chain. Another problem is with token economics, because as you know, the whole Astar Network's value proposition, one of the major value proposition is DApp staking, and we try our best to make developers get more by building good stuff. But this we can only do this because we don't have to pay too much for the collators in the grand scheme of things. And that's possible because the hardware requirement for collators are pretty low. We only require stable uptime. We don't require any like specialized hardware or any like certain processing power. It's Although there are recommended specs, but if you become a validator, there is a the cost of maintenance will increase, and for those people, it only makes sense that the validator rewards are higher than the cost of maintaining one. So this is something that we have to consider, and that means that we have to decrease the rewards for DApp staking if we want to become a fully sufficient decentralized standalone chain. Of course, if we are centralized, then like there isn't really any problem except for the fact that we are centralized. That becomes a huge problem. Um, yeah, and technically it's technically speaking, there are a lot of works to make this happen where parachains can seamlessly become a parachain or a standalone chain. Just like switching it back and forth. I talked with someone from Parity who's also who really wants to work on that part too. But at the moment, and especially for Astar Network in the near future, no, we do not have any plans to do that. And I think the cost of doing that is higher than the benefit that would bring us.
I totally agree. We are not planning to do this at all.
Yeah,
Okay, so I have
sorry. Technically
so,
speaking, we're gonna stay in a Polkadot ecosystem, but in terms of the marketing, I think we have to use another narrative, maybe Japan, to lead the blockchain ecosystem as
Sure.
a whole.
Yeah, absolutely. Like our the perception doesn't really matter. Like that's not what gets us the slot, right?
yes, correct. And like somebody from the community says as well, it makes sense to also say with Polkadot regarding security and costs. It's just it makes it so much easier as well for us and focus on other things that are more important for our builders. Sota, I have a question for you. As somebody from the community is congratulating us on the great partnership with NTT. So his question is, will they launch some kind of projects to solve social issues utilizing the concept of a DAO? Will it be possible that we could stake on entity on debt staking, or is this some kind of what's the agreement that we have with entity?
Yeah, we have already started making social use cases right now, and the information is pretty limited because NTT is one of the biggest company in Japan. So yeah, stay tuned for the use cases. So let's say, but we formed Astar Japan Lab, in some of the national strategic area. We had a partnership with the national strategic area like Fukuoka City, Sendai City, and so on, like city in Japan. So we have already talking with the local government, and they bring us some of the use cases. So we're gonna make the use cases together with NTT Docomo to utilize that use case, not only that city but also other cities. But we just started 2 days ago, from 2 days ago.
Okay, thank you for your answer. Another question that maybe I can answer: are we gonna have EVM dApp staking? Um, we decided on EVM dApp staking to go for now with Algem, our partner who we have, who creates like the dApp staking. Um, for us, our liquid dApp staking. And I know that they will release a new version in the next couple of weeks where it will be possible to stake with EVM on multiple dApps and not only on Algem. So stay tuned on this. We had planned to have EVM dApp staking in our roadmap, but it changed when we had Algem, so we could focus on other things. But I need to ask Hoon here, is this still something on our roadmap that we will support EVM dApp staking?
Yep. So, well, first one clarification: the chain itself already supports AVM dApp staking. We at the moment we had dApp staking precompiled, like, and you can directly call dApp staking from MetaMask and all that. It's just a matter of do we add that to the portal or not. And as Marta mentioned, yeah, because Algem already created a solution, we do have a backlog internally, but after Algem, we thought that there are other things that's more important. So the priority is very low. Do we have plans to do it in the future? Well, I guess it's, well, not really, like, not right now. We don't have it in our roadmap explicitly. It's more like something that's a good to have. And yeah, but it's an open source project. So if the community is interested in implementing it for us, we'd be more than happy to review that. Uh, but that's the current status.
Yes, correct. Because it's already possible through smart contracts. So if a builder is excited to build this, they can already do this. Yes. Another question that is popping up and gets some votes is for you, Sota. What is the concern about Alameda investment in Astar? You're still muted. Thank you.
Yeah, I think two things. First, I'm going to make an announcement, I guess. First things is the investment. we raised 22 million from a lot of the investor, and our biggest shareholder is Polychain, and Polychain has invested 15 million out of 22 million. So Alameda is pretty much very small amount compared to Polychain. And also market making. We have been monitoring the on chain, and we didn't detect Alameda's dump. So I have been communicating with Alameda right now. So it will be a busy days, but I think impact is very limited
Yes,
at
correct.
this moment.
And yes, and we will also have like an official statement or some tweets coming out with more clarification later on as well. We still need to go through some legal stuff as well, but don't need to worry about the impact for Astar for this because we already have checked it out, and there is no concern to have at the moment.
Yeah,
Um,
it is true. Alameda is our shareholder, but very minor shareholder.
And the next question. So is XVM the system that connects EVM and WASM? Pretty straightforward answer. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Although I mean, I guess I could elaborate a little bit more.
Thought
XVM
so.
itself is meant to be a protocol that connects any arbitrary contract environment. So at the moment, it connects, yes, WASM with EVM, but hypothetically speaking, it can connect to any arbitrary environment like Cosm WASM space, Gear, or whatever contract environment Solana is using when if they survive. So it's much more than that, and we plan to have XCM support to XVM, which will be a mouthful, if to speak. Once that happens, you can have cross chain, cross environment contract execution.
Indeed. Like Toga is saying in the troll box, whom can talk about XVM until all of us get drunk?
I
Yes.
mean, if you see me in Sub Zero, I can guarantee you, yeah.
Okay. Another question for you, Hoon. When WASM on mainnet?
When was
Last.
my mainnet? Okay, that's I think that's also a quite simple story. Right now, our major blocker is the contract palette audit, the Inc language audit, and most importantly, Inc 4.0. So Inc 4.0 is actually not compatible with Inc 3.0. There's going to be a breaking change, and if we introduce WASM contract right now, then every DApp that deploys now are basically useless. Well, I mean, they're not useless, completely useless, but it's going to be really hard to actually make them useful. So that's why we are waiting for everything to settle down from Parity side and other parties involved. And I believe Open Zeppelin is the one that's actually auditing. And that's going to happen most likely in the first quarter of next year. Ideally January, but when Parity says January, it's going to be like February.
Indeed, correct. I will just go over some questions. Some I will answer right now. So somebody saying, can I swap a star to SDN? Yes, you can on ArtSwap. And this brings me to the next question. Hoon, can you just give me a little bit of updates regarding Shida Network and where the Shida now is at the moment? Short, 1 minute, 2 minutes.
Sure. She didn't now. We're still in the growth phase. I would say we're trying to. It's hard to get community engagement, especially when it's like such a minor network and in this climate. We're trying really hard with that, and we are going to have we're planning on having a more regular community calls for Sheet and some activities. I will be more involved in it, and we are going to do some really fun stuff like being part of the Kusama governance council seat as with the from the Sheetan sovereign account, and doing some other weird cross contract cases, yeah, or cross chain cases actually, yeah. So that's what we're trying to do. See.
Yes. I see an answers already answered by Toga in the chat. So is it possible in the future to get DApp project tokens for staking Astar for project? You can if you use the precompiled on EVM, and it can also be done when it's built with WASM. So it can already be done, but not through the portal. This is again a nice have. So if anybody wants to build it, they can always do this. How many circulation supply are there? You can check on CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko or even on our portal. When will we have interoperability with Cosmos or other layer one chains?
Well, I guess the term, like, it depends on definition of interoperability. If we're talking
Indeed.
about bridges, then we already do have a lot of bridges. Well, we only have like one bridge provider, but we're already connected. In terms of like full-on contract interoperability for Cosmos, it's going to take a while because there are so many ways to achieve this, and we're also talking with Octopus Network. We're also talking with Composable. Yeah, uh, it's still in development. When is hard to say, but probably middle of next year is when we can say when it's going to happen.
Yes, indeed. And if you are talking about like the interchain with smart contracts, we will announce it as well very soon. We got the seller inter messaging protocol available on Astar, meaning that you can do like similar things as XLR is doing with seller. We are also talking with other projects or bridge providers like XLR or with XLR itself to provide as well an infrastructure on Astar. So more and more to come on this part as well. Um, then there's a question: the redelegating is great, so nomination transfer is great. What about when we have ledger implementation? Can we do a nominate transfer without unbonding our Astar? Yes, that will be possible. Some of us already use ledger on the EVM Astar side, so that's not a problem. Um, that's done. And then the question regarding a burn mechanism of the transaction fee. I need to confirm this with our developers if it's already merged. I'm not so sure. I think maybe who knows? Because we already created like the PR available to have like 20% of the transaction fees to be burned. I need to confirm if it's already
I
available in our mainnet.
I'm not sure if if it's live. I do recall seeing development happening there. But regarding the second part of the question, like will we have a fixed max supply? Well, for fixed max supply with our current token economics, I don't think that's going to be happening because thing about staking rewards is that it's always from inflation. It's just a matter of like the burn rate versus the inflation rate. At some point, yes, the burn rate is going to increase exponentially, but will that lead to fixed max supply? Can't say.
That's correct. It will be very difficult. We are already talking internally about doing some proposals regarding burn mechanisms, except for the transaction fee. And again, this will be handled the same way as we will do with the debt staking tokenomics. It will all be transparent and with direct communication with our community to discuss this as well on our forum. So that's all from the questions from the community. So I think we can wrap things up. So for me to end things up, thank you everybody for tuning in, for listening to us. We are very happy to have you here with us with the support. And yeah, let's try to move ourselves in this bad market condition, but you can always count on Astar to keep on developing. Any final words from you, Hoon, Sota?
Okay, I guess I can go first. Yeah, for those people who are missing my bandana, you can see me in Shiden. From Shiden Dao, maybe I'll wear a bandana there when we're doing a community call. Yeah.
Yeah, let's keep building. That's it.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.